Looks like Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is giving White Tiger a bigger spotlight than we expected, and we've even got our first look at the new White Tiger costume. So, let's break down everything we know so far about White Tiger's upcoming debut in the MCU, shall we? So even though Daredevil Born Again Season 2 doesn't have an official release date just yet, we've already got some exciting details about what's coming. The Marvel Cinematic Universe usually tries to keep future projects under wraps, but filming out in public makes that pretty tough. Between eager fans and persistent paparazzi, a bunch of spoilers tend to leak out, especially when scenes are shot right out on the streets. Sure, not everything filmed ends up in the final version, but these glimpses still give us a solid idea of what's in store. Now, after the intense first season, things are heating up even more for Matt Murdock. He's basically plunged into a full-on war against none other than Mayor Wilson Fisk. Fisk isn't holding back either. He's declared a citywide curfew under the guise of cracking down on vigilantes. But let's be real, this is just his way of hunting down people like Matt, who keep stepping in when the system fails. Of course, Matt's ready to don the Daredevil suit again, but he knows he can't take on this fight alone. So now, he's looking to build a team. People he can trust to stand beside him in this battle against Fisk and his army of dirty cops. One of the more interesting developments has to do with the introduction of White Tiger. Ever since the first season aired, there's been speculation that Angela Del Toro would eventually take up the White Tiger mantle. And it makes sense, because in Marvel Comics, the White Tiger identity has changed hands several times. Fans have been calling for a Defenders reunion for a while, especially hoping for the return of Jessica Jones, played by Kristen Ritter. But the show is also introducing some new characters that have gotten people just as excited. That includes Hector Ayala, the original White Tiger, and Angela Del Toro, who might be picking up where he left off. In the comics, Hector's story is both legendary and heartbreaking. He's one of the earliest heroes to carry the White Tiger identity, but things don't end well for him. He dies violently, which seems to echo what we saw in Born Again Season 1. That kind of tragic arc has always been tied to the White Tiger character, so once he appeared in the show, it wasn't long before people started wondering who would take up the mantle. Some guessed it might be Ava Ayala, his sister, while others leaned toward his niece, Angela Del Toro. It didn't take long for those guesses to be proven right. Angela did show up in Season 1, and now we've got photos from the Season 2 set that seem to confirm everything. Actress Camila Rodriguez was spotted filming scenes in a full White Tiger costume, and it looks like the character is officially stepping into her role as a hero. That alone hints at some pretty major developments in Season 2. Angela's journey seems to be just beginning. After losing her uncle, she's either stepping into his shoes because she already knew about the family's secret legacy, or she's uncovered the truth on her own and decided to carry on his mission. Either way, she's taking a stand for the people who don't have the power to fight back, which is exactly what Hector did and what Daredevil is all about too. Angela might still be young, but that doesn't mean she can't become a major player in the fight against Fisk. In fact, she might be just what Matt needs to help keep his head on straight and remind him of what they're really fighting for: the people. Season 2 seems like the perfect moment to bring in more heroes. Matt's not going to be able to do this alone, and Angela has already proven she's emotionally driven and not afraid to speak the truth. Back in Season 1, she came to Matt as a federal agent who was angry and passionate because she knew something wasn't right in the system, especially after how her uncle was treated. She tried to go through legal channels, hoping Matt could help as a lawyer, but the system failed again. That failure pushed Matt back into action as Daredevil, which eventually led him to taking down Muse and saving both Angela and his girlfriend. So even if Angela doesn't fully realize it yet, she's already had a major influence on Matt. Their relationship is likely to grow stronger in the upcoming season. Watching a connection develop between Angela and Matt could be one of the more touching parts of the show. Matt is usually pretty closed off, but having someone like Angela, who shares his passion for justice and carries the weight of a legacy, could help bring out a different side of him. And for fans of the MCU, Seeing a new hero like White Tiger step up is genuinely exciting. Angela could even end up joining bigger teams like the Young Avengers if she proves herself during the showdown with Fisk. Angela's roots go deeper than just being Hector's niece. Her connection to the White Tiger legacy is tied to a mystical artifact called the Jade Tiger, a statue that originally came from Kunlun. The statue was broken into pieces, and its parts ended up in the US, where a group called the Sons of the Tiger used them as amulets that enhanced their fighting skills. After the group split up, Hector found the amulets and became the first White Tiger thanks to their powers. But Hector's story ended in tragedy. He was framed for a crime he didn't commit, and even with Matt Murdock defending him in court, he was convicted. Trying to escape, he was shot and killed, just before new evidence emerged that would have cleared his name. That moment haunted Matt and became part of why he felt so compelled to keep fighting. Angela, working as a federal agent, ended up getting involved in an investigation related to Daredevil. When she inherited the amulets, she didn't know if she was ready to take on that responsibility. She turned to Matt for guidance, hoping he could help her understand what it meant to live as a vigilante. Matt, seeing her sincerity, tested her in his own way, pushing her physically and emotionally to see if she had what it takes. She passed with flying colors, even stopping a robbery on her own and earning the gratitude of those she protected. That moment gave her clarity. She understood why someone would choose this life. Once she embraced the role, Angela faced some serious threats. She found herself caught in battles against the Yakuza and an underground organization called the Chai. She even started working for a private security firm and began teaming up with other Marvel heroes like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Spider-Man, and Black Widow. But it wasn't easy, especially when she crossed paths with enemies like King Cobra or the killers who took her partner's life. Eventually, things got darker. Angela was killed by Lady Bullseye and then resurrected by the Hand, a secretive and dangerous group known for their mystical powers. While under their control, she acted as a hand assassin, much like Elektra once did. Thankfully, she was later freed from that influence thanks to Black Tarantula, who helped bring her back to herself. Even after she regained her sense of self, Angela still had doubts. Daredevil made her one of the 5 daimyo of the Hand, leaders who governed different territories, and brought her to a summit in Japan. There, she clashed with another daimyo named Bakuto. She often blamed him for everything going wrong, which made it clear she was still dealing with the emotional scars left by the Hand's corruption. Things reached a breaking point in New York when she gave the order to kill looters during a crisis. When Black Tarantula objected, she turned on him, stabbing him and leaving him for dead. That marked the end of her time as a hero for a while, and the amulets eventually passed to Ava Ayala, Hector's younger sister. But that wasn't the end of Angela's story. As part of the all-new, all-different Marvel era, she escaped a prison called the Cellar with help from Maker, who gave her new amulets from an alternate universe. That brought her powers back, but also reignited the conflict between her and Ava. When the two finally clashed, Ava managed to destroy the new amulets just enough to break the influence of the Hand and free Angela from their control once and for all. By the end of their fight, the two White Tigers made peace, at least for a moment. They talked about what's next and who the Tiger God might choose to carry the mantle going forward. So, with Daredevil Born Again Season 2 shaping up to be a full-on war between Matt and Fisk, having Angela Del Toro as White Tiger in the mix could be exactly what the MCU needs. It's not just about adding a new hero, it's about expanding the emotional core of the story, building new alliances, and honoring a legacy that's been around for decades. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.